Episode 6, Chapter 14, The Tragedy. And I only have one page, just a bunch of bullet points, because my last video was over 6 pages, and the video was over 20 minutes. It was like 21 minutes and change, and I didn't get many views. If it's like a reaction video, then people like long videos, but if you're just going to talk about something, review it, people don't want it to be that long. And I pretty much, I didn't even summarize it. I gave the whole episode to you guys, just scene by scene, dialogue, just everything that was said, just everything. And yeah, that was too long. I mean, if you're watching this, you most likely have seen the episode. So yeah, just one page, and it's just there if I need it. We got 2 more episodes left. This episode, not a lot of people know this, but the Mandalorian is shot on this thing called Stagecraft. It's like the new green screen, except it's got video on it, and it basically makes the location for you when they shoot it on camera. But this episode, it was shot on location in California. Because you could just tell, everything that was going on, it can't be done in that stagecraft that they do, because it's a very small room on a set, in a studio, I mean. But yeah, this was done on a big hill, and they were just all over the place. So yeah, it's definitely something they couldn't do. But yeah, actually, all I want to say is, man, I only watched this episode once, just because, man, my heart could not handle this, man. I thought this was going to be an episode that was just a side mission again on the way to Tython, but this went right into Tython, right at the Seeing Stone where Ahsoka told Mando to put Grogu, so he can reach out with the Force to find a Jedi. So yeah, that's where it went. They landed. He went on the rock, and he was just waiting for Grogu to reach out into the Force. And then all of a sudden, I was like this. It was one of those moments. The Slave One showed up. Boba Fett's ship. He showed up, man. It was crazy. And at the beginning, when they do the recap, they always recap something from the previous season that connects to this episode. And it's the episode, the 5th episode from last season, when Mando was working with that. He was a new bounty hunter. He wanted to be part of the guild, and he ended up killing that female bounty hunter, played by Ming-Na Wen. I think that's her name. She voiced Mulan in the animated Mulan movie, plus the straight-to-video sequel. And she's in that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. I've never seen it, but it's connected to the Marvel Universe. But yeah, he brought her back. Because as far as we know, she was killed. But yeah, she's up on a mountain. Boba is talking to Mando. She's got a blaster rifle pointed at the child. It's getting intense. And then all of a sudden, some transports show up with stormtroopers, and that's when I was scared. I was worried. I was like, my heart can't take this. And when they showed up, I knew the child was going to be taken. It was just intense. This episode was directed by Robert Rodriguez. I've only seen one of his movies, and it's a recent one. All his other stuff, I know he did the Spy Kids movies. I've never seen those, and I know he's done a lot of westerns, with cowboys. I've never seen those movies. But he did good. He did good on this. I thought he did this really well. The Boba Fett action was intense, because we've never seen Boba Fett in action, either when he was a child in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and when I say Episode 2, I'm referring to the movies, the Star Wars movies, not these episodes. And then he was also in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, Episode 5 and 6, briefly. So we never really saw him in action. He's always just standing, looking cool. But we actually got to see what the legend was all about. And he was intense. He had his Tusken Raider weapons. He had the gaffy stick that he was wrecking those stormtroopers, man, just beating them down. It was intense. It was awesome. The action was awesome. And then Fennec, the bounty hunter that he saved, she was awesome. She did one of those 180, she jumped and then did 180 shots, just jumping, turning around, and just shooting. She kicked the boulder at those stormtroopers. And then, of course, Mando, he was awesome. He did the whistlebird things that come out of his gauntlets. That was awesome. And then, Child, Grogu, he was on the Seeing Stone reaching out into the Force. And Mando kept trying to get him because he knew stuff was going to happen. Once the Empire showed up, because you could see the Star Destroyer in the distance, he knew stuff was going to happen. He kept trying to pull Grogu out of that force field. The force field. But yeah, he couldn't. He was in the middle of reaching out. And then the Razor Crest got blown up by the Star Destroyer, Moff Gideon's Star Destroyer. Man, his shit, man. The Razor Crest has been through a lot. But yeah, it was a crazy episode. Did I miss anything? No, yeah, it was just... Yeah, it all took place on that hill where the Seeing Stone is. So yeah, there was a lot going on, but at the same time not, because they weren't going to different locations, like different planets or different location of a planet or whatever. It was just all within that one location, but it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. Oh, and then Moff Gideon, he sent out 5 or 4 of his Dark Troopers, the ones that we saw at the end of episode 5 when they broke into that Imperial base that they ended up finding out was the base. It was on Navarro, where Greef and Mando live, where they found out that's where the testing was going on. But yeah, those troopers, they got sent out, and I knew it, man. Like I said, once I saw the stormtroopers land in those transports, I knew the child was getting taken. So, oh, and also when they were talking, just to go back to why, okay, well, the Dark Troopers, they flew off. They took Grogu and flew off to the Star Destroyer, and Boba Fett chased them, but Mando was like, nah, don't do anything, because he didn't want the child harmed. But just to fast forward to when Mando and Boba and Fennec had their little conversation to make peace, they wanted to like all put their weapons down, but for Mando, Boba said, take off your jetpack. So because he took it off and then all this chaos ensued, he couldn't like fly up the mountain or the hill to save the child. He couldn't fly after the troopers to save the child. So yeah, that kind of sucked that he didn't have the jetpack. But I mean, how else is Moff Gideon gonna get the child? Something has to happen. But yeah, it was crazy, man. I'm so worried. But at the same time, the child's, or Grogu, he's got the Force, and even though I'm still worried about him and I want them to save him. Oh, sorry to go back again. When he went to the wreckage, his ship was obliterated. There was nothing left. It was ash, except for the little ball that the child likes to play with, and his Beskar lance that he got from the previous episode. And then at the end, they go to Moff Gideon's Star Destroyer, and the child is kept in a cell, and he is just throwing those troopers around with force push and force pull, and he even like force chokes one of them at one point. And then Moff Gideon shows him the Darksaber, and then he has a stormtrooper stun the child, and then they put little handcuffs. Man, poor little guy. Even though he's got the Force, I feel so bad for him, and I can't wait for him to get rescued. And then the episode ends with Mando going back to Navarro and talking to Cara Dune. She's the Marshal of Navarro now, and he asks her for help, and he tells her the child was captured, and he also asks her to look up information for Mayfeld, Bill Burr's character, the comedian from episode 6 of last season, the bald guy. So I guess the last 2 episodes are going to be like a big team up. He's just going to be getting everybody. He's got Boba and Fennec. Hopefully Cara joins because he asked her, and Greef and Mayfeld. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. But only 2 episodes left. I love this show. I wish it was more than 8 episodes, but at the same time, I like the specialness of Star Wars. I like having a lot of time in between Star Wars stuff, so I don't mind it only being episodes and waiting a year for the next season, the 3rd season. But yeah, it was a fun episode. I hope you're enjoying the season. I hope you're enjoying my spoiler reviews. Forgot to mention that at the beginning, spoiler. But yeah, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe, stay positive, take care. Hi, my name is Ryan. Subscribe, tell all your friends, hit the bell, comment what you liked about this episode. and peace.